Sheesh. Okay. Nirvana's kind of cool. I finished my tower, but I'm kind of struggling to find a list. Let's see if I can find a good starting place. Let's YouTube usually has something. YouTube, Nirvana, Vanguard. Okay, cool. Vanguardo 0. That no. News update. TCG. There's no deck list. We can fix this. Alright, so I have 3 variants of Nirvana to show today. Obviously, everyone's been sleeping on this deck, and if I'm going to be honest with you, Nirvana isn't really that strong in 0, but that still doesn't mean that no one should ever make a deck profile for it. So I put together 3 different variants. A Murakumo variant, a Narukami variant, and a Kagero variant. I prefer the Narukami one, so I'll be talking about that today. But we have 3 different variants that each highlight a different aspect of the Nirvana gameplay within 0. So let's break this down a bit. Okay, so let's just kind of quickly go over the 2 other options that I think work really well with Nirvana, and then we'll go over what I feel is a very strong version of Nirvana. First, we'll talk about Murakumo, and basically, you're gonna see the core of the arena, the ride line. You really only need one of each. That's not gonna change. But the biggest piece here is overall cart. It's going to help you multiply your Varenas or multiply your Trickstars to help you continue to loop Varena and Trickstar, because when you do overdress over your Trickstar, Varena becomes a massive 14k base as a grade 2. That's really good for hitting on crossride numbers and just general scaling, and you can also use Nirvana's CB1 to help that scale even further. So trying to take advantage of those really strong numbers here is kind of what this deck tries to do, but just by like continuously like looping it. I don't really like this version, but if you're really into Murakumo, you could try this. Next, we will talk about the Kagero variant. I tested this one on stream, so the stream link is in the description below if you guys want to check that out. I try to stream at least twice a week, so check it out if you'd like. But my stream folks did see me test this a bit on stream. The goal of this is use your Persona Ride to +1, similar to the Dote restand, except it's a turn slower, and you don't get the restand. Anyways, albeit a little bit slower, what this deck tries to do is just produce really consistent Persona Ride scenarios using your Novel Roman here. You're going to be able to put back your grade 4 Novel Vague and then find yourself a Persona Ride, or if you feel like your opponent's committing way too much, drop a Dio on them in the early game. So it's got a lot of really great grade 3 options in this deck, and if you do for some reason happen to raw draw your Nirvana, you can even find yourself a Triple D Dote and get yourself some really nice late game spice with column numbers that are uncontested. So here's this version. And finally, we have the Narukami version, the deck that I kind of want to showcase today. I know what you guys are thinking, it's Coco, this deck is outdated. The other 2 have newer cards. How can this be the spice that is nice? I understand, viewer. And frankly, if you disagree with my list, that's totally fine. This is only meant to stem a discussion. I'm not trying to give you guys the best Nirvana, the best way to play Nirvana. So if you guys either play something similar like to this with your Nirvana list, or you have something different in mind, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your guys' Nirvana journey. We're gonna break this down into some key pieces that really make this deck pop off. So very similar to the prior deck list, you're gonna see the 4 Nirvana, and of course the Ryu and the Rio here for the ride line with the egg. This is super cool because it's just super consistent. And turn 4 Persona Ride's fairly consistent with this list. And then of course your Varena here. Let's talk about it. On hit, when it hits Vanguard, you counterblast 1 and you can pop something on board. In the other versions of Nirvana, you couldn't really take advantage of this because, well, unless you had Retire. But why have Retire when you can just Gunner it and then retire it later? So I really like Gunner and how it synergizes with the Nirvana engine, and I think that there's even room to play some Legions in here if you're really into that. But I just found that considering you want to play at least 2 Gunners in the grade 2, the ride line, and your Nirvanas, you're already taking up 7 to 8 slots. Your Legion mates aren't gonna have very high counts. It might get inconsistent. So I feel like just playing like the good stuff Narukami from way back when just feels super strong here. You have Garuda to help you refund counterblast, so you don't feel afraid to use your Nirvana skills, use your Verena skills, use your Death Scythes. You have, of course, the Duai. It's not limited to Eradicator names, so you can Persona Ride or call whatever grade 3, make this work. Old PGs, because we really don't need to get pushed here. There's no like ulterior like limit break strat that we're going for most of the time, but we do have 2 finishers. My alternative ride for this deck is Gauntlet Buster, because pushing crits is absolutely busted. I just really like this. It's not tied to like having other cards being Eradicator, and it's super easy to get off with the Death Scythes and the Verenas and the Duais, so I really like this in here. And finally, we just have 1 copy of Vermilion. You can make this pretty much whatever you want. I like Vermilion just in case I feel like I'm just PG checking. I can call this down, CB2, clear board. It's a fun time. So this is the list. We have gens on heals because it scales. Again, if you guys disagree with me, let me know in the comment section. If you like any of these lists, try it out yourself. But let's get to the deck and fight.
やるね。
ヴァンガードにアタック。ゲットトロートリガー。セカンドゲットトロートリガー。
ガレージチェック。
ヴァンガードにアタック。
スタンド&ドロー。ライド。スキル発動。リリックブレイク。いけスキル発動。アタック。ヴァンガードにアタック。チェック。セカンドチェック。ヒールトリガー。
サンダー&トロー。ライドブレイクライド。ロックコール。
どうしよっかな。
スキル発動。ロックコール。ヴァンガードにアタック。セカンドチェック。
ガレージチェック。スタンド&ドロー。スキル発動。リリックブレイク。アタック。ファーストチェック。ヒールトリガー。楽しいファイトにしような。セカンドチェック。
サンダー&トロー。ここよ。リアガードにアタック。リアガードにアタック。セカンドチェック。ヴァンガードにアタック。
ガレージチェック。スタンド&ドロー。スキル発動。リリックブレイク。コール。コール。アタック。ヴァンガードにアタックチェック。セカンドチェック。
ダメージチェック。
今日はついてるぜ。
シュッ。Pew pew 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 pew. Cling. I have a friend.